Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is like holiday makeup release time, so I am going to be pumping out the reviews for you guys. You guys know I reviewed 2 palettes already last week, and now I have another one here to share with you. So I just want it to be known that I'm not pressuring you to buy anything. I just want to give you guys my thoughts and some looks with these palettes. If it is something that you are interested in picking up, so you can see, if you get it for yourself, different looks you can do and just my overall thoughts on these, so you can debate for yourself what things you want to pick up, maybe put on your Christmas list, put on your VIB sale list for a future sale, and all that. So let's go ahead and get into the review. Today we are going to be talking about the new Natasha Glam palette. I am so excited. I saw this and I immediately fell in love. I actually did expedited 1-day shipping for this because I was so excited. Like, I have not done that with a palette in so long. You guys know Natasha pretty recently came out with the bronze palette in their mid-size. These mid-size palettes are $65. So usually the Natasha big palettes are like in the $100 range, and then she has her mini ones in the $20 range. So these are $65, which is pretty good. The pan sizes are just a bit smaller than her normal ones, but I never use up eyeshadow, and I think most people don't. So I love that she's been doing more of these medium-sized palettes. So I did pick up that bronze palette. I reviewed it, loved it, but then they come out with another neutral palette. You guys know me. Neutrals are my thing, and it's cool neutrals. Oh my gosh, everyone was going crazy about this because there's not a lot of cool neutral palettes out there on the market, and for Natasha to do one is just like, yes please, because I love her formula so much. So here it is. I love the packaging on this one. It has almost this smoky purpley silver vibe to it, really gorgeous. And then here is the inside. I did use mine for 2 looks already, so I did get into my shadows already, so they're a bit messy, but how gorgeous. Let me go ahead and flip this around so I don't blind you with the mirror. These shades are just, she picked out the perfect ones. So she did something a little bit different with this palette with the names. She actually named them so that you could do your eyeshadow along with it, which is kind of nice for beginners. For me, I don't really look at the eyeshadow names ever, so it doesn't really bother me. It's just kind of annoying when I'm reading out the shades to you, just saying what shade I'm going to use. Like, oh, I'm going to use blend. Oh, I'm going to use crease. It kind of sounds weird to me, but I don't really pay attention to the shades. I just go in with what I want. But for the beginner, I think this is nice, so you can know where's the best place going to be for this color. But of course, you can do whatever you want, whatever kind of look you want. You can put the color wherever. These are just suggestions. So I think this is nice that she kind of did that. It's different. I don't love it, but I mean, I get why she did it. So this is kind of a bigger version of the little mini glam that she came out with, I think at the end of last year or early this year, which I do have and I use it a lot. So I do want to compare at the end of the video, like if there is duplicate shades and all that stuff, because there is some that do look similar between the two, but obviously this just has a lot more. So I did want to mention that. This is available on Sephora right now. I think also Natasha's website. There is only 5 matte shades in the palette. The rest are all shimmers, but I do feel like it is a decent amount. Like, that's pretty much all I need. I didn't really need any more. It comes with the right amount of shades, some lighter transition shades, darker outer corner shades, and like a light brow bone color. So I thought they included the perfect amount of mattes and then a variety of different tones in the shimmers as well. So I do want to go ahead and show swatches. They all swatched gorgeous, as Natasha's formula is always really smooth and buttery. And like I said, at the end I'm going to swatch some other similar palettes so you guys could get an idea if this can be duped and whatnot. But overall, I'm really pleased with how this looks. I'm very excited about it, and I'm going to show you guys 2 looks I did with the palette, including the one I'm wearing now. Something a little bit, well, they're both a neutral glam. The first look's a little bit easier. This one's a little bit more smoky, dark, but I think they both came out really nice. So let's go ahead and get into the, alright guys, so starting off look number 1, I'm going to do something a little more on the simpler side, just a neutral glam look, and then the second look I'll probably do something a little more smoky. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the shade Transition. It's gonna be so weird to call these names out since they're like where you put the color names. Very odd, but I'm just gonna wipe this all over on top of my eye primer to set. Next, I'll take the shade Blend right here. I was wondering if that color would be too light, but it's actually really nice. It's like my perfect crease color, and I love the cool tone it gives right off the bat. Because it kind of looked more warm, or more of the warmer shades in the pan, but this really builds up to get some great pigmentation. So if you're worried about this shade, if it would work for you if you have medium or deeper skin, I think you could definitely use it. So I kind of just built that up to how I like it. I don't think I have to go in with any other shade in the crease. So next I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Smoke and put that in the outer corner of the eye. This one blends really nice as well. And sometimes cool browns are very hard to work with, I find, but this one seems to be really nice. Definitely amazing quality as expected. And I'm just kind of blending that up into the crease as well. I'm going to take this outer eyelid color here on the bottom and go ahead and smudge that on my lower lash line. I'll probably add a brown eyeliner as well. What's really nice with this palette, I feel like I'm not really getting any fallout, and it's looking good. Like, I don't have a ton that I need to clean up, which doesn't happen too often with my eyeshadow palettes. Next, I'm going to wet this shader brush here, and I'm just going to use the shade that says Inner Corner, and we're not going to use it on the inner corner. We will put it in the inner corner, but we're also going to use it all over the lid. Oh yes, love this. It almost has that champagne pink undertone. So that's how it looks just with a wet brush. I'll see if I could pop it more with my finger. Yeah, that'll add just a little bit more, but I think it looks good just using the brush as well. And there is this shadow look, just something easy for every day, but still pretty neutral glam. Neutral glam is my specialty, I like to say. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of my makeup so you can see the final look, put mascara on, blush, lips, all that. And so far, the first look came out really nice. Everything was very easy to use, and I'm pleased. All right, so here's what I decided for the first look. We went with a really light, cool pink blush and this pretty mauve lip color. I really like how it all looks together, just for something easy that I would wear for an everyday kind of thing. I do feel like I have kind of similar shades in my collection to the lid color, but I do really like it with this look and with the matte browns. I think it pairs really well. So let's move on to look number 2. Alright, so I just wiped off my eye makeup, and we're going to start to look number 2, a little more dramatic. I want to do something very dark and smoky because I don't do that super often. So I'm going to take that same transition shade again to set my Urban Decay primer potion that I used. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and use this crease shade up here, which looks a little bit more on the grayer brown tone side. I wanted that a little bit more concentrated, so I switched over to a less fluffy brush. This is just a Morphe one I got in my last BoxyCharm. That looks pretty good. That one is definitely more on the gray tone side, and I really like how that came out. Let me blend it up just a bit more. This edge is kind of wonky, but I'll fix that up with concealer. Next, I'm going to take this color, which says Lash Line. It's like a dark, cool gray. And I'm going to place this in the outer corner. I like that the shade's not quite black, but it's like that dark gray, because often with palettes, I never really use the shades if it's a black, because I just think it's a bit too much for me. So I like that this one is dark enough that it kind of gives you that look, but it's not too powerful like a black would be, but I think you could definitely build it up and make it look like that. So I really like how this is looking. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I think that's about as dark as I would like it. I am going to take a little bit of that crease shade again on this smudger brush along the lower lash line. And then I'll blend a little bit of that dark gray underneath there as well, just super lightly. Next, I'm going to take the darkest shimmer, which seems to be this one here, just as outer eyelid, and I'm going to place that in the lid portion, or the first half at least. This is a really pretty color if you want that smoky look. Love this. I kind of want to pop on a little bit of this silver in the inner portion as well. Or maybe I'll just put that all over. Let's see what that'll do. Oh yeah, that'll just brighten it up a little bit. Right in the inner portion. And of course we'll blend a little bit more. Yeah, I'm really impressed, especially like how well the colors all blended without like hardly any fallout. You never find that with this many like smoky shades like this. That's really impressive, I will say. Alright, so I really like how that looks. I am going to put lashes on for this look to make it a little bit more dramatic, and I'll retouch up my makeup, maybe add a different blush or something similar and change my lip color, and I'll show you guys the final look. But here is a close-up on the eyes. Alright, so here's the look I did for look number 2. Again, I wanted to do the cool pinks, just really bright pink blush and a glossy neutral pink lip with this one. I absolutely love how this glam smoky look came out. I think it's stunning. Blue eyes. You are gonna love this, I think. So those are the 2 looks. Now I'll get into my final thoughts. Alright, so I did want to go into some different palette comparisons. I wanted to see what would be the closest thing I have in my collection. When I first saw the images, I instantly thought Anastasia Sultry. So I do have my Sultry palette here. I do want to share with you them side by side. This is definitely the closest dupe that I have in my personal collection. They both are very cool tone glam makeup. The Sultry just has that extra pop of red, but for this video I did swatch this and it's very similar, so I do think that these are really close dupes. If you already have the Sultry, you probably don't need the glam unless you want Natasha's formula, because Natasha's formula is better than the Anastasia one in my opinion. It's just a lot more smooth, buttery, no fallout. I really just am so impressed with her formula as always, but essentially they are the same colors. You're gonna get pretty much the same look with both. So I did swatch the Sultry without the red so you guys could see it. It's very, very close. So I'll put those up and down so you guys could see them next to each other. But yes, this Sultry palette and the Glam palette are definitely dupes for each other. So you probably don't need both unless you are more of a collector like me or just love Natasha's formula. Another palette that I thought could be similar, just because this look I did reminded me a lot of a look I did with this palette, the Jeffree Star Cremated. I did swatch a few shades in here just to get an idea, but it turns out they really aren't a dupe. I mean, this look is dupeable, but for the most part, this is all grays, and this one still has some like brown tones in it, while this one really doesn't. Even though it kind of looks like it might have those same colors, they don't swatch warm at all. Like they swatch all very, very gray, which you will see like even these like brown looking ones, yeah, they're not even close. So that one was not quite a dupe for me. Now let's see if we can dupe colors in the Mini Glam. So let me go ahead and do some swatches here comparing. In the Mini Glam we have this bronze called Golden Flesh, which looks like this. To be honest, there's not a lot that's similar in this palette here to this bronze. The closest would be this center eyelid shade, but it's a lot more gold. As you can see, it's very shiny. So that one was not dupeable. Next I have in the Mini Glam, this is called Harlow. This one's kind of, it's still cool tone, but it almost has like a mustard almost undertone to it. So I really don't think I have this in the palette either. Let me try Blend, but this one's more peachy. Yeah, not dupes whatsoever. Then I have this shade in the Mini Glam, which is Anjo. Here is Anjo. I'm gonna try this outer eyelid shade next to it. There they are next to each other, similar but also different. This Mini Glam is a lot more warm than the actual Glam. And then we have this dark brown called Seed. Smoke might be the closest, but yeah, those are kind of similar, but Seed from the Mini Glam just has a touch more warmth to it. And then lastly, I have the shade Faye compared to Brow Bone and Center Eyelid. Those are kind of similar towards the bottom, so there's kind of two dupes for that shimmer in there, but not exactly. So yeah, I did not think that this was super dupeable. I think this is a nice addition to the palette, but if you have this, I still think you'll have a lot of differences getting the bigger version. So overall, I really love this palette. I think it's absolutely stunning, and I really loved the formula. I was just really impressed by the mattes, how there was no fallout, especially with these smoky tones. They are very hard to do, and they can be so messy in all of my other palettes, but this formula is just flawless with the mattes. Similar formula to the bronze palette. Some of the shimmers, I feel like they could use a little bit more punch to them, but they're pretty typical Natasha formula, just very buttery smooth, not really chunky at all. It's pretty metallic, but not glittery, if that makes sense. I just know I'm going to get so much use out of this because I do neutral glam all the time. I think I like this even better than the bronze, I will admit. The cool tones, I just feel like complement my hair color, my skin tone, my eye color the most, and I always get compliments on cool tones, but I just have a hard time wearing them because a lot of the palettes I use just don't blend out nice like this one does. So I see myself wearing this for a lot of photo shoots in the future and lots of looks. I do think this one is worth picking up for the formula alone, but of course it is very dupeable if you guys have some other cool tone palettes in your collection. I know a lot of people have the Sultry, so it is dupeable. It's not going to be super unique, but I'm really happy with it, and I love the looks I did today. So let me know your thoughts on this palette down below if you guys are planning to pick this one up. I do know Sephora is having an event right now. If you spend $75 this week, you get a 15% off coupon to use later in about 2 weeks. So I did that already with this palette and a couple other things, and I'm planning to maybe use that 15% towards some other new releases. So you can do that now if you're wanting to save, or if you're wanting to pick up some extra things. And of course the Sephora VIB sale should be coming up in October, so there's always that to look forward to. There's always a lot of discounts around the holiday time, so don't feel like you have to run out and buy all these things. Like I said, I just want to get you guys the videos and my thoughts on these so you can kind of start making your list and see what you want to pick up, because there's going to be so many new releases now, like every day with all the new makeup. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I'll go ahead and let you guys go so I could get this video up ASAP for you. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye guys.